Hi guys, today's video is Draw My Nails. This is episode 21 and it is a Halloween edition. Just in case you're new here, this is the series I do where you guys draw me a nail design and I do my best to recreate it in real life. I couldn't do these videos without you guys, so thank you so much for submitting your designs. I appreciate it so much. And can you believe it's been almost a year since I did one of these? It feels really good to be back and filming. As I am easing back into filming, this video is a little bit more simple than they previously have been, but of course we still have 3D sculpting, nail art, and aquarium nail. So on that note, I'm gonna just jump straight into it. Our first design is from Annaya. This is a really cute, simple design with all the Halloween colors. I did notice a little bit of a trend in the submissions, as there sometimes is, and I noticed a lot of these similar colors. And while yes, of course, they're the Halloween colors, I noticed a lot of these like almost exact similar shades. And so essentially all of these designs are going to match color-wise. So I thought it would be fun to start out on a nail that would show all of the different main colors we're going to be using. So starting off, we have a black base. So I'm using this black French gel from Apres. I think that this angled brush is really growing on me. It works really well around the cuticle. And then I'm grabbing out my white liner because we need to put a base before we put any of these bright colors. Also, just as a note, the black Apres gel is a non-wipe, which I love, especially for a black gel. So now let's see if we can get some of these really fine lines. So good so far. This is like my first design in a really long time. While I was taking my break, I still did my nails, but I didn't really do anything intricate. And I'm using a little flash cure lamp to just do it right here. I hope you can see all the bristles from my little swab tool I used to clean up. That should be good. And I'm just making this a little bit thicker now. All right, that line might be a little bit too thin. Hopefully that's a little better. And I am just periodically curing just to set everything in. I don't want to mess it up. I think keeping my hand steady like this is actually helping a lot. This box is actually my little box of intricate Draw My Nails designs, ones that would most likely get ruined if they were being mixed up in my large jar of nails that is actually no longer a jar, but now a cloud on my wall behind me. Although the edges on this little box are quite sharp, so I might need to look into getting something else to put my finger on while I do this. For the purple, green, and orange, I'm going to be using Boss Battle by Nails by Dev, Pumpkin Juice from Ball Pit Nails, and Lime Sour from Apres, again with their French line. And I'll be using these same colors pretty consistently throughout this video because these are, of course, like our classic Halloween colors. So this will most likely be the orange I'm going to use in general, the green, and also the purple. I have my little palette going. So let's get this color on. We will start with the green. If I did these little lines once, I can do it again, right? Hopefully. Did you guys hear that? Something in my room just randomly fell over. Like a whole box of filming supplies just out of nowhere. But you know what? That's actually kind of spooky. I guess if it's gonna happen, it'll happen for the Halloween video. Okay, this is our last little line. It looks so pretty. Now, they did specify that they want a matte top coat for the black and shiny for everything else. So let's top coat everything with the matte first. Then we will cure that. And this one needs to be wiped before the shininess will go away. So lastly, now I'm going over very carefully all of our color waves in the shiny top coat. Honestly, this might be the most difficult part of this nail. I think, unfortunately, I need to do some touch-ups with the matte because it is so hard to keep the shiny on the colored parts. So I'm gonna fix that really quick and then we will be done with this nail. And here it is. This is such a cute design. I might end up going back and putting a really thick gel so the squiggles are almost like 3D. I think that would probably look a little bit better than my wonky top coat job, but I'll tinker with little details later. Let's move on to the next nail. Our next design is from Nikki Renee. This is a Sanrio character I have never attempted before, and it was so cute. I thought that this design would be perfect for easing back into sculpting and more intricate details and designs. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to sculpt Keroppi on the nail. So let's start on the background. On the background, they said if you feel like making it extra magical, which of course I do, some jelly cat's eye polish over the background would be super cute. So let's begin. I'm not sure if the background is painted stars in white or if the stars and little white dots are meant to be the cat's eye, but I'm gonna go with putting a full solid black base. I'm gonna just prep my nail with the Apres tip primer because I don't feel like filing it. There we go. Then our black base again. Always a hair somewhere. There we go. So I was thinking about it, and I don't have any jelly and cat's eye gel, I'm pretty sure, especially one that would fit with this theme. So I think I'm just going to put a jelly over it. This is a purple hollow jelly from Secret Nail Affair, and it's a dark purple, so I think it will add that little bit of a magical glow to the background without completely overtaking the background, if that makes sense. Like, it'll just add a little bit without becoming a entirely different color, because if I put a cat's eye on, I think it will, and I want to keep the background dark, but I feel like that looks nice. Just a little something something. I grabbed some dotting tools so we can do the stars and little dots in the background. I am notoriously bad at these types of stars or sparkles, so I'm trying it this way in hopes this will go a little bit smoother. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, these aren't bad. They're not perfect, but I feel that if I keep messing with them, I'm gonna make them worse, so I'm sticking with these. Then we just need to do a couple little dots. I'm gonna cure this now, and we can finally move on to Keroppi. I'm gonna be using all of these little clays. That way I don't have to paint anything. So for Keroppi, I'm gonna use this yellow and some green. We're just mixing that up. For the hat, I'm going to use mostly this one and then just a little bit of this to cool the purple down, and then mixing that up. So let's start on Keroppi. Although really quick, I think I'm going to top coat this just in case I mess anything up. I don't mess up my background. And cure, of course. So I'm just rolling him into a ball, and I want his face to be a little, of course, rounded, but I don't want to just put a big ball on the nail. So I'm gonna just cut some of this off so gracefully. There we go. A lot of his face is actually just his eyes on here, so we're gonna just get this little piece in place. I also put some alcohol on my hands to just kind of get it a little bit sticky. That might even be almost too big. Is it? No, maybe. We'll smush it a little bit. Just realized I was doing this upside down, so I'm gonna move him down a little bit. Okay, and then I'm just rubbing this with alcohol so we can smooth it out. So here's the bottom part of the face. I think I'm at a point where I can cure it. And now let's do the hat. I did end up adding a little bit of black to this just because it just seemed too bright, but now it seems kind of dull, so I'll fix that with some gel on top or something, or maybe it'll look good. Maybe it just needs a top coat, I don't know. But let's do the hat. I keep trying to turn my finger and do it this way because technically you would usually do all the designs facing outwards. I used to do all of the designs this way, and it makes it so much easier to do it this way because I can't really see that well doing it the other way, but technically you normally would. But you can also do it facing you. That is also totally fine, but I definitely have just got in the habit of doing it the other way. Now I'm just rolling this out. I know that's a thing with tattoos as well. If you get them facing yourself a lot of the time, they'll be upside down to everyone else. It's kind of the same thing with nails. We also need to do the brim of the hat. This is definitely going to be a little bit out of proportion compared to theirs, but it's okay. I'm smooshing everything down. I gotta make sure that these kind of like stay out and up. For the eyes, we're going to use white trippy gel. All right, let's get his eyes on. Oh no, one looks so much bigger than the other. Okay, third time's the charm. All right, that's so much better. Although now this one is smaller. It's hard with this clay because such a tiny amount can make a big difference like that. Okay, I'm finally curing the eyes. So time to do all the little details. All right, let's do Croppy's cheeks. I'm a little mad because the clay got messed up. It's been a while since I've used this clay and I forgot that rubbing alcohol kind of makes it do like a weird melty thingy where it ends up drying white. Getting out my black liner. And then we already know the eyes are going to be hard, but let's just try. I'm hoping since he's like a little cross-eyed, it'll be easier. Wait, that might actually be similar. I think maybe I just need to make him a little bit bigger. Oh wait, I think it looks good. And now I'm just doing his little hat. I'm gonna use some shading gel for the creases in the hat. So the bats are supposed to be glow in the dark, but I've made this a little bit too big. I'm just making the bats a smidge darker to just match the hat. Our third design is by Meg Rim. Hopefully that's right. And they did specify that it's fine to change the colors. So what I'm going to do is just add a purple background to this just so it meshes with everything else. It already has the orange, but we'll just throw in a little bit of purple in there. This one is so fun because I am planning on doing the tail all wrapping around the nail. So let's try it. So let's start out with this purple, and I'm going to put this orange on and see if I can just put it on or if we need to do like a base of white. I think it'll be okay on its own. I want to just put this orange up at the top, and then we'll do the drag marks after we put the cat on, but just that way I can use this as a placement reference. For the cat, I'm mixing black sissy clay and white trippy gel. I feel like the tail on this one is going to be the fun part. Okay, so I'm going to chop some off for its body. We'll get it just nice and smooth. I'm going to just roll it a little. It's like a little tube. That might look a little long, but also cats when they're hanging are like spaghetti. So maybe it's fine. I'm going to just chop off a little bit at the top and we'll put the head there. Obviously, I have been gone for a little bit, so I've had a lot of changes. One of them, I actually have cats living with me now. My sister-in-law lives with us for now, and she has 2 cats. So I now have some cats here, which has been interesting because I have not had cats since I was really young, and I have some allergies to them, so I can't just like interact with them a ton. But she has the nicest cats, and my dog Appa absolutely loves them. He thinks that they're his babies, which is so cute. Okay, gotta give it some little detail. You guys see that? Why am I like this? All right, little details. First, some ears. I am using a tiny bit, like the smallest amount of base coat to help it just move a little and smooth out. Since alcohol does not always work best, I prefer alcohol because it like dries off quick, but it does leave that weird white cast like film on top. I need the skinniest tool that I can find to make those little hairs at the top. And I think that's going to be the tip of these scissors. Here we go. Ooh, it's looking so cute. I'm going to cure this so we can just lock in this work. Now for the tiny appendages. Okay, one little chicken leg, and then there's the other. I'm gonna have to do the feet separate because I just cannot sculpt it all in one piece. I think I'm starting to realize one of the things that I do wrong with this is I always use too much gel. I always think I need way more than I actually do with the solid gel. So it's definitely something I'm gonna be trying to work on, because you don't need that much. It really only takes these little teeny tiny pieces. They look like little chicken legs, so they're perfect. Then of course we can't forget the actual arms. And once again, using the scissors to make these tiny little details. Now let's work on the tail. I'm gonna just roll out like a really long thin strip and I'm gonna wrap it entirely around my nail. We'll see how durable it looks like that. If not, then I'll carve out what's on the back. But we'll do it all the way around it first to get the full effect. So we'd start here and then go around once. And then, ooh, is it gonna be? Oh my gosh, it is the perfect length. Now let's add on the eyes. That's definitely too big. I actually don't think that those eyes were too big. I think they were the wrong shape. They're more of ovals. Let's do the nose. I'm gonna be honest. It's giving cat, but it's also giving rat. So I'm gonna make the whiskers out of some thread. See if that helps out at all. I know rats also have whiskers, but I think that the whiskers will make it look more cat. So I'm just putting down 2 little bits of thick glue. Then we need to make the little drag marks. I think the whiskers really made it all come together. I'm going to give the cat a matte top coat, and then I'm going to leave the bottom glossy. Of course, we can't forget the back. I'm probably going to be wearing these nails for a couple days, so I hope the back of the tail doesn't break off. I'm going to be really, really careful. Then we cure. Then, of course, a wipe so we can get that sticky layer off and bring out the matte finish. Of course, I could not do a Draw My Nails nowadays without an aquarium nail. And this one is by Lizzie. I thought that the idea that there's this cat that knocked over this potion in a cauldron was just so adorable. It tells like a whole story. So I'm really excited about this one. Since this one is a aquarium nail, I'm using some pre-made aquarium tips from Sydney33. I think the thing we should do first really is fill it. For the glitter, the circles are of course supposed to look like the potion spilling out, and they did say iridescent glitter, but this is the only green iridescent glitter I have, and it kind of does a more orangey yellow shift to it. But I do have this glitter mix from Dumb Blonde Cosmetics, and these are still really shiny green glitters, and I have different shades of them too, so I'm not sure what I want to use. Okay, this one may actually work. It has that green to blue shift. So I'm going to grab out a bunch of these. Oh no. Well, that's one way to do it. I want to make the liquid purple also. So let's use some food coloring. We'll see what we have here. Grape purple probably is what we'll want. We also have taro purple. And then purple red up here. But I think grape purple is what we want. I'm not quite sure how many drops we're going to want to do. Okay, now let's start with just one. That was kind of a big drop. That will probably be good. We don't want it too opaque because otherwise we won't be able to see the glitter. Then I grabbed my silicone mat really quick because we probably need to make a top to this. I'm all over the place with this one. It's been a really long time since I've done an aquarium nail. So I'm going to make 2 tops just in case. I did already prep this tip, so I'm going to just go straight in with the oil. I'm going to leave some room for our glitter. I'm going to shove those in so they don't get stuck to the sides, because once we close that up, that's it. Can't undo them. Okay, oh, and you can see it. I don't know if you guys can see from here, but you can definitely see those. I hope that once we put some sort of like clear over the top, we'll be able to see everything really, really good. That's probably plenty. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. All right, now's the hard part. I'm going to stay calm. I'm not going to show this tip any fear. We're going to wipe off the top with some acetone. Make sure there's no oil or anything that's going to prevent us from closing it. Then using the same gel from earlier, I'm going to go around the edge and put my top on it. With how the gel lights up, it looks sealed, so I'm hoping. I put extra on the outsides just to make sure. Hopefully it'll look cool once we can actually see it. So now I need to file down this top. I like to file it down with my e-file because I feel like it puts less pressure on the top, and I think there's less chance of it breaking or anything like that. So here we are. Now that we got that all sealed up, I'm going to paint this bottom part an ombre down so we can cover the natural nail part. But I don't want to cover up the tank, of course, so I'm just gonna ombre it. And I'm just using a base coat to feather it a bit. The cauldron is 3D, so I have some of the clay I mixed up earlier from the cat to use for the cauldron. So I'm trying to think how to do this best. I think I'm just going to start with putting a ball on, and we'll smush it down. And I'm rolling out a really thin piece to make the lip of it. Okay, that should be plenty thin. We do have green gel that will be pouring out of the cauldron, So that will probably help give it the effect that it's hollow. It's looking a little rough, so I'm gonna grab some. That base coat is gloopy. So I'm trying to just like smooth it out and make sure everything looks nice and neat with some base coat and trying to level out all these little ridges. Now all we need is just some little handles. I think that looks really good. So now we need to do the green spillage. Now I have this Glow Groovy Glob gel in green. Say that 5 times fast. And I think that would look really good. I may mix it a bit with another clear gel so I can add a little bit more green pigment to it, because this is definitely green, but it's that glow green, the green that's not really that bright. In this palette, I just have some base gel I was using. So I'm going to mix that in to thin it a little bit, so that I can add in just a touch of the green gel, because I want it to be able to cure, but I just want it a little bit brighter, and I feel like that did it. And it's spilling out, and I'm gonna put a little bit in here like this. I know the picture doesn't show that, but I ended up making the brim of this cauldron quite a bit wider than theirs, and I want it to show that the cauldron is full, and that's why it's spilling out. I don't like this one little side over here, so I'm scraping that off. Definitely was way too long. One of my favorite parts of this design is the little paw prints. I feel like these are going to be really hard to do, but they're really cute. I love that there's a whole story with this design. And lastly, we just need to do the silhouette of the cat. I don't even know where to start for this. I think I'm going to start on the tail. I don't know why, but that seems easiest to me. And then we just have the body. Okay, what do we think of this? I think it's looking okay. It is a silhouette, so we don't need a ton of crazy details. I think it actually looks good, except the tail. The tail is actually, I think, what's throwing it off for me. Might just cure that and then do the tail after. That is even worse. What is wrong with me? This should be like the easiest part. Okay, I love it. So the tail did unfortunately run into the paw print a little bit, but it still looks better. So this entire thing is getting a shiny top coat, and then I'm gonna go back and do a matte top coat over just the cauldron, because I just feel like that fits. The cauldron should be matte. And this one, of course, will need to be glued on. So we'll need to do that too. And then also back and final cure for this. Ooh, looks so good. And then, of course, with the aquarium aspect, they do move. It's just slow moving. And then we'll glue it on. Our last design is by Annaya, and I wanted to do one that was just nail art, no sculpting, no 3D elements, no liquid, and I love the vibe of just like a little spooky house on a hill. So let's get into the last nail. Starting out with a white base for this. I am doing it on a stand because doing it with my thumb facing this way, I just think would be a little too difficult. And this is like a little piece of artwork. I think it'll turn out a lot better if we do it this way. Ooh, this white is really nice. Do you guys see that coverage? Not 100%, but it's pretty good. So let's start with the background. It is going to be an ombre of a purple to pink to orange. They said it's a pretty sunset, so I'll do my best. So we'll start at the top, and then I'm using this really fluffy ombre brush. With this one, I don't normally do this. I would normally just ombre all the colors at once, but I think I'm going to do each layer individually because I don't want to make this too thick. I'm using this tiny gel for the pinkish purple color. I'll probably end up going back and just like touching up and blend the colors together, but I want to keep this really flat. Whenever I do nail art, a lot of the time it ends up lumpy and you can see all the strokes of all the brushes and stuff, and I really want to avoid that. All right, that looks pretty to me. I'm gonna mix together a bit of the green and black to make a dark green for the grass. There will be a little bit of background showing on the sides a bit, so I'm gonna honestly just ombre the sunset into the grass, or I might leave it a bit more stark like this because it does kind of look like the texture of grass. Either way will work. Before we start actually drawing, I'm going to do a base coat so everything goes on nice and smooth. And I'm using my Patty Gel base coat. I love this and the top coat. Although I wasn't posting like I had mentioned, I was still doing my nails and I've been using this pretty much every time. And I'm actually gonna probably need to get more soon. And white. And let's just jump straight into the house part. So I'm gonna start it here in the center. I think that might be too angled. Good start. I'm gonna lock that in. Now the chimney. I feel like this is kind of hard because I'm trying to just like plan out in my head. Maybe I'll do the first part of the roof first. The perspective may be a little bit weird, a little bit off. It's giving fisheye, but we're gonna just pretend it's a stylistic choice, okay? So we got the main part of the house done. Now I'm doing the windows and stuff. I figure if I'm outlining, I might as well outline everything. Wow, the base actually turned out really good. I'm really happy with it. Everything else is gonna get an outline now. I'm gonna do the gravestones. I think there is also a little pathway if I'm looking at this right. I'll do that after I fill in all the color though. Out of everything, it's the gravestones that are giving me a hard time today. And the last thing to be outlined is going to be a little pumpkin. And let's start on the roof. I would like to avoid having to redo the black outline, so I'm going to be really careful with where I'm filling in. For the purple, I'm going to mix some of the purple I've been using and the gray. Now I'm just filling in the walls of the house. And of course, we cannot forget the purple on the chimney. I also forgot to do the graves gray when I did the roof. So I'm doing that now. Grab some orange for this pumpkin. Then we've got a dark red door, so I'm gonna use this. Okay, I'm not sure what to do for the windows. I was thinking gray, but then I think it just might be like a little bit too much. Maybe a really pale grayish yellow. So I'm going to use this yellow from Secret Nail Affair. It is very pale. And then I'm going to mix in some gray to kind of make it look like there's like maybe light shining through the windows. And now I've swapped for the little Hello Kitty lamp because my other one died. Okay, everything's pretty much filled in. So I'm going to do some of the final detailing. Like I know the windows need the whatever they're called in the center. I don't know the actual name for it. And the windows definitely also need an entire new outline. That's okay. I didn't do too bad at filling everything in. Then let's do some smoke coming out of the chimney. I'm gonna do the stars the same as the window color. Or should they be more yellow? I think they should be a little bit more yellow. This is literally going to be the smallest pumpkin face ever. That's what it's getting. I don't think I can do any better than that. And then this moon is the last little outline. And that is it. Now I'm going to put my top coat on. I'm pretty sure that's it anyway. Let me double check the picture. Okay, yes, I believe that is it. So here's our top coat and a final cure. Okay, I'm going to show you guys my little trick that I do whenever I need to put on a press-on that is a lot bigger than my actual nail, meaning like the curve of this nail is way bigger down here than my actual nail, and I need to put this on with glue. That would be pretty difficult because we would need to fill everything with glue. So what I like to do is I put thick gel, like this is the Après Extend gel, and I smash it in. And then I will lightly fit it to my nail and like smush down. And my actual nail has like a really smooth base on it right now, so it's not going to stick like so. So now we have this back part all filled up, and then you're gonna just cure it on its own. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to cure gel under an opaque nail. Okay, nail must be transparent, but we are not curing it on there. But we did need to fill in the back. And you could, of course, fill in without shaping it to your actual nail, but it might not fit as well. Then as far as my actual nail goes, this is a base coat. I'm going to rough this up. Then I'm going to also rough up this part. I'm going to wipe that with alcohol. And then I am going to put it on with glue. And this should more or less be a perfect fit. And as you can see, the back part is all filled in. I could have cleaned this part off. I probably should have, but you know, you guys get the point. I think I'm gonna try to draw my nails more often. So if you're wanting to submit designs, please make sure to keep a lookout on my community tab, because that's where I post the picture and the link and everything like that. But for the next couple, maybe like 1 or 2 before we get to the, you know, like holiday draw my nails, I'm going to go back and actually do designs that I wanted to do, but either didn't have time for, or I didn't feel like were in my capabilities at that time. So keep a lookout if I've never done your design, because I just might. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and all of these designs. Please make sure to give this video a like. I really appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!